Welcome everyone to the GoCanvas Bluebeam webinar. It's great to have everyone here. A little bit of housekeeping. We do have questions and answers enabled on this meeting. So any questions you might have, drop them in there and we'll answer those at the end of the session. But let's dive in. So a little bit about us and myself. So my name is Zoe England. I'm from Advanced Spatial Technology. We specialise in helping AC civil government teams work smarter, not harder, with platforms like Bluebeam and GoCanvas, along with Autodesk, drafting services, etc. I promise I won't kill you with too much PowerPoint. This is going to be a really, really practical session. So today's session is all about closing the gap between the office and the field, using markups from Bluebeam, but also using mobile devices to capture all that important information. So today we're going to do a little bit of an intro to GoCanvas, and then we're going to dive into the platform itself. So how to get started, create forms. We'll look at the mobile workflow, field workflow. We'll also then look at reporting and analytics, so how all of that data comes back for management and improvement in performance. Then we'll have a sneak peek of the integration with Bluebeam. It's still in beta, so it's very, very exciting. And then we'll have a look at the roadmap and how AST can support you, as well as any questions and answers. So where GoCanvas fits in. A lot of the challenges among many industries, but particularly in AEC and government, is we've got outdated processes. There's still a lot of people relying on paper forms, which means there's a time lag, there's manual entry, paper gets lost. Some people's handwriting, mine included, is very messy, so it can be hard to see. Data can get damaged, it can be missing, or 5 years later when you do need to pull something up, you can't find it or it's incomplete. And that can lead to some pretty significant liability and fine issues, as well as, potentially breaking the law. What this means, lost revenue, increased costs, and higher labour costs. So a bit about GoCanvas. So GoCanvas has been around for about 10 years now. It's the industry-leading low-code, no-code mobile form solution, which is a bit of a mouthful. What it means is you don't have to be a programmer to be able to set up GoCanvas and create your own custom forms. It's being used by over 12,000 customers to replace paper with more efficiency. It's built for safety and field workers, and it also has offline functionality. So many people will know that are on this call. Building sites don't often have the best mobile coverage, but your team can keep working and it will automatically sync. It also automates workflows, eliminates a lot of manual processes and data entry, which can lead to errors, and it keeps everyone safe and on track. So basically what we're going to look at today is digitizing the process. So the office and the field are connected. Everyone knows where they're at. The field know what they need to do. The office can see exactly what's going on. And with that, we'll jump into the platform itself. So I'll pop across. And we're going to start with the web platform. So GoCanvas, we have the web platform and we also have the mobile, which we'll delve into a little bit later on in the demo. So this is your GoCanvas dashboard. It's nice and clean. You can see recent activities. You can also add users directly from here if you wish. But to delve in a little bit deeper, and this will probably be the driest part of the presentation, but we've got, first of all, departments. So this is super useful in that you can create different departments within GoCanvas. So we're going to tie everything together today based on defects and QA, but you can also use GoCanvas for all of your HR forms, for example, or any maintenance forms. And you can have different departments through here who have access to different forms. We're on the dashboard right here, and I'm going to breeze through this relatively quickly, and then we're going to jump into how to actually build the forms and show you just how easy that is. So next we've got our work hub. So this is where from the office we can publish out work orders, for example, or QA checks that need to be done. So you can see I've got a few here that are waiting to be completed. They've been received by the user, which happens to be me in this case, and I can see exactly if anything is overdue. So I can see this one is overdue. From a scheduling point of view, all of the we call this all of these submissions or dispatches can be scheduled, and you can view this in a calendar view. So you can see exactly which teams are doing what at any given time. You can see if teams are maybe too stretched and you might need to hand off different tasks to other people. You can also see anything that's been submitted, and all of this data is you can export. So you can email from here, you can just view the PDF right here. We also have follow-ups. So if anything did need following up, this will appear right here. We've got our forms, which we will jump into a little bit later. We've got submissions. So these are all the forms that are being completed. The cool thing with the submissions is we can jump into, say, a different project. I'll jump into the demo and we can search through here. We also have reference data. So this is one of the ways that we keep all of the data and information really clean. So you can upload CSV spreadsheets, also your own logos, etc. So everything is branded to your organization. And this can be updated really, really easily and pushed to the mobile. Users don't even need to do anything. The data is updated all of the time. GoCanvas also has a lot of integrations. So, for example, if you report in Power BI, yes, absolutely, you can hook that up to GoCanvas for your reporting, whether it's for board meetings or other purposes. Next, we've got our department. So I'm in first department right now, it could be HR. We can look at what users or groups are within here. So we might have all of the users, but certain people are in different groups. We can add roles in here, which gives them certain permissions. So do you want them just to fill out the forms? They would have a different role. Next, we've got analytics. I'm going to jump into this one a little bit later in the demo, but basically you can pull everything you need straight through here. Really super powerful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is jump into, I guess, the meat of it that a lot of people are interested in seeing how easy is it to create a form. So I'm going to jump into demo forms right here. You can see I've customized the icon for one of these. You can leave it vanilla if you like, but it's nice to have that branding in place. So, for example, if I want to come through and take a look at my quality checklist for plant boxes or balconies on high rises, I jump in here and I've got a lot of options, but it's not that overwhelming if you take a look. So this is where I could customize my icon. I can allow my users to reassign. So, for example, if they need someone else to finish the QA, they can do that. We've got edit and view turned on. This is one of the interesting ones right here. So GoCanvas will automatically create a submission number for you. And that was one of the gaps. I guess Bluebeam's really great. You can create forms in it, but you have to save as and remember what the submission number is. Makes it really challenging for pulling that data back up. So this can all be customized with prefixes and suffixes. We also have options for integration through here. a couple of the things that we'll look at right here. So we've got dispatch turned on. Dispatch just means this form can be sent to certain users. So you can develop the forms with this off and then turn it on. And you can allocate different users or groups to different forms. We've also got workflow on, and we'll get into that. It'll make more sense a little bit later, but this means you can hand off. So, for example, I complete an ITP. I sign it off, but I need my supervisor to sign it off as well. I can hand it off to my supervisor. They can do that final sign off. So we'll come through here. But jumping into the meat, let's go ahead and look at editing the form. So you can see we've got a really nice, crisp, clean interface. Through here, we've got the field library. So we've got a lot of options through here. Text, we've got choices, so drop downs are available, single choices, multiple choices, and multimedia. So you can add attachments, you can add photos that can be edited on the mobile phone. You can add signatures, drawings, static images, videos. And with the multimedia side of things, you can turn on compression so that it's not eating up too much mobile data, but you've still got really good quality, high-res images coming back that you can draw upon if you need to in the future. We've got date and time and links and checkboxes, etc. And a lot of these can be automated. So you can see I've got my project set up right here. So if I select this one right here, I can go through and set screen settings. So whether I'm showing this or not. This will make a bit more sense a little bit later on. But you can see through here, I've got my project details, which can be automated for the users. And I've got my template, again, that's automated. What we have here is reference data. So this means in a multi-res, for example, I can select I want level 1, room 18, and it's in the bathroom. And this makes it super easy for the users to just pick that information. They don't have to type it in and run the risk of making mistakes. So you can see all of this is linked into that reference data that we've already uploaded. Next, we've got our checklist. So again, we've got boxes, and we've got the choices of yes, no, NA in this case. All of these lists are completely customizable. So depending on what information you need to pull through, you can customize these. You can also have those reference lists standardized across the organization. So what we recommend is creating like a template library, and we've got all of those. So creating these new forms, super easy. So I'll come down through, you can see I've got the addition of photos. I'm allowing drawing, and I can add multiple photos through here. So what happens if I need to add another section? I can do that really, really easily. So I can come straight here, and I can simply duplicate the screen. All of those references, etc., will be duplicated, and I can come through and just change names right here. Second, I hit save and publish. Those changes are pushed out to the users. So how does that look in practice? So let's say, for example, we've got overall comments here that may or may not need to be filled out. I'm going to come to my field library, and I'm going to add a single choice right here. You see, whoops, I've added it to the wrong screen. No problem. I can literally drag and drop this through here. So I can say, I'm not very good at talking and typing, which you'll get to know. So additional comment right here. And so next, I'm going to start from scratch in this case, but if you've got a common list, you can simply use that. So I'm going to say, yes, enter, no, and we're done. So I've got this. Next, I'm going to come through and you can see I've got conditions. So I can add a condition in here, which says when field, sorry, let me quickly hit save first. Cool. So when the field additional overall comments, sorry, and additional comments equals yes, then I show this. If they hit no, then this comments field will not show. So again, I can do that with the date as well. So I can say overall comments, additional comment equals yes, and we're done. And you can add multiple conditions. This is super cool also for doing multiple checklists in the same form. So for example, you have a pre-start for a bulldozer, a skid steer, a truck. They'll have different checklists. So when the person selects truck, they'll have a certain checklist showing as opposed to everything altogether. Next, I can click save. Oh, and the other thing I really like to do with additional comments, I prefer the boxes. I think they look nicer. So I can click save. So I want to make sure this is going to work as I expect. So I can come through, click on test. So we can see these things have been automatically filled for me. So the user's first name and last name, the current date. I can come through and say, all right, I want to look at level 2. I'm only showing level 2 rooms and I want to look at balcony. Click through. Yep, that's all looking good. Oh, look, I've got a required field right here. So we can put those hold points in where if you want an image added, it's done for you. So I'll hit cancel on that one. So I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. The next thing that people like to see, and you can see I've got this publish up here right now. I'll leave that just for a moment, is the actual form design. So if we come through right here and click edit PDF, you can see you've got full control on how these PDFs look through here. So I've chosen to add the signature at the top as well as at the bottom of this form. If we come back through and we'll jump right to the end, you can see we've got the sign-off form right here. One thing that people often comment on is making sure these QAs are done actually on site rather than from your photo library on a Sunday afternoon, so you know the inspection's actually been done. So what we can also do through here in our field library is to add a geolocation or GPS. So for example, I'm going to just drop this one right here. So location right here. And I'm going to add some more information or some more details. So in this case, I'm going to make this hidden from the mobile because it's one less thing that the field user needs to see. And in advance, we can have different information through here. So I'm selecting the small map, but we can go for large maps, etc. right here. Again, I'm going to hit save and publish. So you can see I'll get a notification on my phone right here. Back to the PDF itself. We can come through and we've got a number of built-in elements. So we can add free form text just to our PDF. We can add images such as our logo right here. We can pop page breaks in, social media links, submission number. So you can see I've added project name, the date, submission number as a footer through here. Now let's say I want the GPS location appearing next to my signature in both areas. So I'm going to come to attendees. I can jump through and just simply drag and drop that right here. I also want it at the bottom of the PDF. So you can see we've got quite a large square right here. Again, you can have the same information dropped into several areas in your PDF. So really easy to just drag and drop and design these forms. I can click Save. I can preview this. All of these changes get pushed live instantly. So you can see I've got all those changes sitting right there. Oh, so we've got our form. How do we get it out to the users? So the first thing we want to do is this has already been published. So I'm going to close this one down. So there's a couple of things that we definitely want to do. So we can come through here and we can assign this to different users. So you can see it's assigned to myself. I might assign it to one of my colleagues. I can send them a notification, so they'll get a push notification on their mobile phone that they've got a new form assigned. Click Save, right here. So running a dispatch or sending these forms or these work requests out, very easy. We come up to Work Hub right here, and I'm going to create a new dispatch. So I'm going to create just a new single one, but you can actually upload dispatches via CSV, so you can do multiple ones at the same time right here. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to call it Fox Hill. Bit of description. So I'm going to assign this to myself. I can have this immediate or I can schedule this for later. So if I want this done, say by Friday, I can also repeat this. So if this is something that needs to be done on a weekly basis, for example, might be maintenance or site lockup, etc., we can also have a reminder and send them a calendar invite. What's great about this is we can say, okay, it's Box Hill Unit. We've got the company name pre-filled. We can tell them, okay, I need you to go to level 1 and look at the balcony. Create the dispatch. And we're done. So if I come back to my Work Hub, you can see that's been added for me right there. Cool. So you don't need to wait for an IT developer. You can literally drag and drop and pre-start your forms really, really easily. As I mentioned, we tend to create, when we're doing onboarding for our customers, we'll create almost like a golden library where you can literally come through and just say, I need one just like this. I can copy the form right here and I can do my edits and assign exactly from here. So all those changes go live instantly for you. Awesome. I'll just see if there's any questions on that little section. But we'll probably have most of the questions at the end of the session. So next I'm going to stop sharing this particular screen and I'm going to jump into GoCanvas. Awesome. So we'll jump into GoCanvas. I'll just move that one out of the way. So when you first jump onto the mobile app, so I'm using this on an iPhone, but you can use Android, tablets, whatever is most appropriate. You jump onto the tasks that you have today. So you can see I've got a number of tasks. What I'm going to do is just synchronize to pull out those new dispatches. So you can see the things that I need to do today. For example, the planter boxes through here. I can do that one. So I can review this. I can see, okay, I know what level it's on. And go, okay, let's have a look at this one. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is come through and start this one. So with this form, you can see we've got a nice table of contents. We've got the project details, which have already been pre-filled for me. I can click next. So I can go through and do my QA. And you can see I've got a hold point here. So I can't actually go through and do the next part of the QA until I've actually taken some photos. In this case, I'm going to use my library. So I'm going to come through and we'll add these elements through here. If I need to, I can come through and I can mark this up. I can add text, etc. Close and save. So that one's done. I can make comments right here. Click next. Next part of the waterproofing. This is all good. We can also automate it that if a no is hit in here, someone else might get informed straight away. Again, I'm going to capture the photo. Use my camera this time. Use the photo. I can also add them from my gallery. And done. Next. Drainage layers, they're all good. Add from my gallery. And click add. So next. So we've got the overall comments and capturing my signature. Click done and hit next. So I'm going to submit. So I've got this one set up so it's going to show me the PDF. You don't necessarily have to do that. And this will show up in the dashboard immediately back at the office. You can also set up so that certain people or certain email addresses are emailed that submission straight away. So you can see we've got AST, we've got various photos straight through here. So super simple workflow when you're on site. Cool. So what happens if I'm on site and I spot a defect? I can add a defect report, for example, or this might be a closeout walkthrough, simply by hitting the plus button up here. So I'm going to grab my snag list. So I'm going to grab that this is at Box Hill and the site address is all automated for me. I've got the date and who I am. I'll click next. So this is super flexible for on-site. It means you can go through and add multiple things on the fly. So I'm going to call it defect 1, broken paver. I'm going to capture a photo. I'll use my gallery again. So we got that one. Add another one. So it's through there. Hit done. And I've spotted another issue that needs attention. Capture a photo. Hit return. Done. Again. And you can see the numbering has been automated. Capture the photos. Cool. And done. So I'm going to hit next. and see, do I have additional comments? Fix this. Thanks. I can, again, add more photos or not. Click next. So I'm going to sign off on this one. Click done. So this is where I actually need to hand this off to a colleague because I don't want to fix that stuff. It's not my job. So you can see I could hand this off to Misha. I'll hand it back to myself just so we can go through the demo. I'll click submit. Click OK. You can see I've got a new task that's been added. And I can see this one right here. I come back, you can see this was assigned to me. I can start, I can go back through the form and make any changes I want. But I'm happy with that. And click done. And next, and submit. So it's super, super easy. And that is the basic mobile workflow. So what I'll do is come back and stop my broadcast. And I will share my bigger screen. Cool. So we've gone through the mobile experience. Super, super easy to set up and very, very easy on site. Sites are hectic enough, and you want to be able to give something to team members that's easy to use, and therefore they're going to actually use it and comply with filling out whatever forms it might be. So it might be pre-starts, it might be ITPs, it might be defects, any number of forms. So coming back to the manager view, we're back in GoCanvas itself. So this is where you can actually pull a lot more information. So we can actually split elements up into different projects. So for example, if I look at my submissions, so these aren't named as projects, but if you imagine these can be projects in their own right, we can come through to the AST demo forms and we can look at any submissions that have been done. So you can see snag list, we've got a total of 14. These can actually be exported, so you can use it for analytics as well. So I might say, I want everything from the 10th to the 12th. I want CSV. I can also include the device ID, so you're recognizing which person it is. We also have this neat option right here called schedule options. So for example, if you want this sent weekly, starting on the 12th, and you want the previous week, and you want to send it to a certain individual, in this case me, we can schedule that. So then every Wednesday, I'll get this report. And I can click export. Oops. And I'll get that one emailed to me straight away. So it makes it really, really easy just to keep on top of all of those analytics. Ooh. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen. My apologies. I'll have to go through that again. Thanks, Celine. Okay, so my apologies. So I'll come back to submissions. So I've come into my project. I want to export the snag list, for example, and I want to schedule. So I don't want to have to remember to do this every single week. So what I'm going to do is say, I want this done weekly. I want to receive it every Monday morning, for example. Click OK. And I want the previous week. I want this sent to this person right here. I can click schedule And so now that's automated for me. I don't need to remember to come and jump in at all. I can just come in and it'll drop into my inbox for me. Cool. So the other elements through here, which are super powerful, we've got integrations, which we've had a look at, but we've also got analytics built right into the platform itself. So, for example, if I come through to analytics, I'll just open this in a new tab and let this come up. So this gives you a dashboard that you can really drill down into. You can also export the visuals and the information and data straight from here. So if you just want that broader overview as a manager or lead, you can come into the analytics and just see exactly what's going on. So what have we got here? This is a demo, so it's pretty generic. But if I want to look at everything that's happened on a certain day, I can do that. So you can see all of these have changed. I can click this off. I can also say, okay, I just want to see how Adelaide's going, for example. I can select just Adelaide by itself and drill in further. So if I come down, we can see, in this case, level of risk that we've chosen to look at, what was high, what was low, what was moderate, gives me an idea of where I might need to drill in a little bit further. I can also go by the foreman right here. So you can see this is filtering all the time. Let's say I want to look at what's going on in Brisbane. They've got quite a number of submissions. We can see how many have been completed, how many are in progress, how many might be delayed, which is important metrics for reporting back. You can also come through here. This dashboard's relating mostly to safety and risk, for example, but you've also got percentages down here where you can actually drill into the individual foreman. So we can select this one and you can see we've got more filtering coming through here. I can literally unselect. Now, if I want to present this to a board meeting, for example, I can absolutely do that. So I'll click out of Brisbane. Let's say I wanted an overview of the last month. I can send this to CSV. I can print it. I can make a PowerPoint slide. I can send it to Excel as well. So you've really got that high level of reporting when it comes to all of the data that's flowing in. You also can search and find any submissions. So we can search through here for 5 previous years and pull out the exact QA report that proves that that information was, or that QA was done appropriately. Oh, whoops. All right. So I guess the sneak peek, we're ready for it. So as I mentioned, Bluebeam and Nemetschek acquired GoCanvas, I think it was last year, and they've been working on an integration. So I am running a beta version of that. It's going to be released shortly, but this is a really good sneak peek of how it looks. So you can see I've got a document that's already marked up. I'll just zoom in a little bit. So we've got our custom markups through here. So we now have a GoCanvas task link right here. So when it is released, you can right click to show this, but I'll click on here. So what have we got in task link? We can come through here and we've got the entire history. So these are all of the submittals that we've got. We can also export this information or all of the ITPs or the defect walks or whatever forms have been associated to this particular drawing. If we want to drill it down, we can search through here. We can also search on different assignees, the status, which form, data is created, the description. We can also just pull it down and say, I just want to see what's in this active document. So you can see I've got this one sitting right here. What's cool in this little section is we can view it on GoCanvas. I can come through and I can see all of that information sitting right there. I can also open this in review. I can pull this down. And the joys of using a beta. So let's maybe grab this one. Okay, so we've got the reported damage right here. So we've got Box Hill roof. You can see we've got the defect. So what's also cool, if you've got lots associated right here, we can jump straight through here. Okay, that's what they're talking about right there. I can view this on GoCanvas because it's not been completed. But we've also got ones through here where I can open this up in Bluebeam and pull it down. Apologies, I'm running a beta. What I might do is quickly unshare my screen and just pull something out. Bear with me for a moment. Alrighty. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. I just needed to re-sign in. My apologies. So I'll come back to my recents, grab task link, and we'll grab this one as well. So if I come back to GoCanvas, I can come through here. I can look at the Box Hill roof, but I can also look at elements through here and pull this one right down. You can see we've got that individual PDF sitting right here. What else can we do with TaskLink? So the cool thing with TaskLink is we don't even need to necessarily jump into GoCanvas. What we can do is do dispatches directly from Bluebeam. We can also attach dispatches or submissions from GoCanvas to Bluebeam itself. So to do that, I'm going to come through and I'm going to do a markup. So I'll grab a QA markup. Escape and try that again. Anybody think I'd never used Bluebeam? So just going to pop around this area right here. And enter QA, hit escape. Cool. So from here, I can right click and we've got this new little task link. So I can create a dispatch directly from here. So the one I want, the form I want is this one. Box Hill, enter 3, QA, water, roofing. For example, I can assign it. I can schedule for later if I wish. Send the calendar invite. I'm going to send this straight away. I can click next. So through here, I can update information. We've got the company name, etc. This is on level 2 and we want it in here and it's on the balcony. Click send. So my phone's just popped up giving me an alert that I've had a new form associated to me and we can see we've got that sitting right there. If we pop back to GoCanvas, you can see This has been assigned right here. All of this, and something I'm sure everyone loves as much as I do, the markups list, which records absolutely everything you're doing, is recorded in here as well. So you can see who it's been assigned to, who completed it through here, which is awesome. If I wanted to attach a submission right here, and I'm cognizant of running out of time right now, I can come to Task Link and attach an existing dispatch through here. So for example, I'll grab this one and attach it. So now all of these are right here. From here, once the job is packed up, for example, we can export this. I'll add the open files right here. And I want to remove this one and remove this one. I'm just going to export, but you can combine it with the drawings as well. So I'm going to drop this into my staging folder. I'm going to call it export. Click OK. That'll give us a nice PDF package. You can see we've got PDF package. I could have chosen to put any associated drawings in here, but it makes it super easy for archiving. You can also automate this so it's dropping straight back into your SharePoint, for example. Cool. So we're almost at time. What I'm going to do now is come back. So a little bit more about what AST can do. So we work locally. We've got people in most areas of Australia. So head office is in WA. We've got people in Melbourne, Brisbane, Tassie. We work closely with our customers to do that local onboarding, building out forms, workflow design as well to understand if you're new to forms, what makes sense, as well as the integration setup. We also offer Bluebeam training and customization through there. I guess next, we are offering a complimentary 30-minute discovery session, which you guys are more than welcome to take advantage of. Our contact details are right here.